Then Wednesdays, shows at Mashpee Commons, 6 o'clock. Both days shows are free. And we even have them if there's rain. There are some sprinkles in the forecast today, but at the Winnetou there is an undercover area. So we will move the show to the undercover area, and if it happens to be raining tomorrow in Mashpee, we go inside to Steeple Street Music Academy's performance space. So the shows will happen. The person who's happening is Chris Matthews. Hi, how are you? It's so nice to see you.
It's nice to see you again as well.
We crossed paths. The last time we crossed paths was at the Folk Americana Roots Hall of Fame, and I talked to you before performing.
Yeah.
But I want to hear like how did it go, and maybe you should tell people like a little bit of why you were there and what you did.
Yeah. So the induction, the Folk Americana Roots Music Hall of Fame. Each year they do inductions for artists and also professionals in the industry who have been luminaries. And this past year, I was honoring Sister Rosetta Tharpe, and so I was able to sing one of her songs, and also had the pleasure of singing with Dom Flemons as well. That was super fun. We got to sing together, Joy Clark and myself. And also got to hear Liz Wright, who I'm such a fan of, and so it was just an amazing night for many, many reasons.
Very cool. Yeah, it was a great performance, a great ceremony. They do a nice job up there, and I'm glad you got to watch us.
Oh, yeah,
what was it like? So this was at the Bach Center, and instead of having the audience was on stage, and the performers had their back to the room.
It was a very cool backdrop. The room itself was so absolutely stunningly beautiful, and so it was a nice visual really for the audience members, because they were on stage with us and the tables were set up so that they could kind of face the stage and then also be facing that beautiful room and see those incredible ceilings and tapestries. It was gorgeous.
Well, I would love to just like have you start out, if you can, with a song here, and then let's talk about making music.
Okay, sounds good.
All right.
This is a fairly new song of mine. This song is called Anvil. This land was not our home, but we made it so with our blood and bone. Toiled brick by brick, from the homicide to a rocket ship. This land has been hard to take, but thank the Lord we've been harder to break. So you can keep your hammer, keep your bell. Give me a herring and staff, watch the chains be dispelled. I'm gonna do the best that I can to use the tool in my hand. Don't wanna build the same old broken thing back. I'm gonna build a world without one life. This land wasn't even theirs, but they cheat and steal like it's a parent heirs. The South is gonna rise again, indigenous, black, brown, and all I can. This land is still crueler than cruel. They wanna lynch our boat, they bombed our schools. Keep your hammer, keep your bell. Give me a pen to carry like Ida B. Wells. I'm gonna do the best that I can to use the tool in my hand. Don't wanna build the same old broken thing back. I'm gonna build a world without one lack. Now this land wants to turn back time to when being black was enough of a crime. I don't want no Jim Crow 2.0. Won't let them axe the trees some seeds the ancestors sow. This land is unwilling, unable. I beg for seats, but we built the table. They wanna take my vote away. I'm here to tell them not today. I'm gonna lift my voice, lift my feet till I'm buried in my grave. They wanna take my vote away. I'm here to tell them not today. I'm gonna lift my voice, lift my feet till I'm buried in my grave. So you can keep your
That was so good. That is brand new?
Yeah, it's brand new. Just I live in Nashville, Tennessee, and that song was written after Tennessee decided to try and dismantle black voting power in Memphis, and so many other southern states have now followed suit. And so that song was written about that.
Can you say the line again, just because it really struck me, but I don't want to get it wrong, about the chairs and the table?
Yeah, absolutely. It says, "Why beg for seats when we built the table?" So much of what this country knows about democracy, it knows because of Black Americans.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's, ironic and so very American that they would try to disenfranchise the folks who are doing the work constantly and consistently of trying to make this country a better version of herself.
Such a great line, like so succinct to get that point across.
Thank you, Rich.
Good. PJ. Sorry.
PJ, I'm so sorry.
No worries. Rich is here. Rich is next to me, so people know.
That's it. Thank you, everybody. Yeah.
No worries. Okay, let's talk about so many things. Let's talk about Nashville.
Yeah.
Okay. You did not grow up in Nashville, but you relocated to Nashville.
Yep.
You are a Southerner by
through and through.
all the way
I'm a
down to the
Southerner
bones.
through and through, but a
Yeah.
North Carolinian. We're real particular about our southern states.
Right.
Yeah, I was born and raised in North Carolina. Lived in D.C. for a little while after that, and Nashville is home for me now.
Mm-hmm. And okay, so what do you find the difference between North Carolina and Nashville to be? Just because I'm going to be so like picky and weird, like
PJ, you're gonna get me in trouble.
Oh, okay,
Southern
well,
cousins.
like I read an interview where you're like, I used to live in the South, but now I live in Nashville. And there is a distinction. I will tell you, I lived in that part of the world for a period of time, so
Yes.
I know there's a distinction, but I want you to talk about it.
Yes. I mean, so the most concise way I can explain it is, North Carolina, we're very southern down there. It's beautiful. We have beautiful beaches there as well. We have the mountains there. It's so lovely, so wonderful. And Nashville is also lovely and wonderful. It just happens to also be in Tennessee,
Mm-hmm.
which is not great. And so, Tennessee, the thing that is consistently true about the South, the people very rarely match the politics of the South. The people in the South are so lovely and so kind. There are all these little quirks that kind of distinguish one from another. That's why North Carolinians get so prickly when you accidentally call us South Carolinians and vice versa. But the South is just such a complicated place. The people can be so kind and so loving, and so much about who I am and how I walk through this world is because I am from the South, and yet here we are having to deal with so many very problematic, harmful things in the South as well.
I don't, in all of the stuff I read kind of leading up to being prepared to talk to you, I don't know if I've ever heard an artist articulate where I'm from is who I am, as well as you have. Like every time somebody asks you about a song, you're like, this is where I'm from and who I am, like it's all the parts of that, because there are many parts to that.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think for writers, songwriters especially, it is inevitable that the places you have loved and the places that have loved on you make it into your songwriting, make it into those stories and into the fabric of you. And so, there is so much of me that is so fond of the place that raised me, that taught me about justice, that taught me about community. And there is so much of me that loves the mountains, where I learned how to even play guitar and write songs all together. And so much of me that is influenced by having lived in the nation's capital during some of the most tumultuous times of this country's history during my lifetime. So all of those things, they make their way into the songs and stories.
Your mom's a reverend.
Yes, she is. Thank you for not assuming it's my dad. Good job.
So you grew up in church, and church is one of the things that makes its way into your music.
Oh yeah, that was the first music I ever learned to love.
What were you learning at that point? Like what kind of spiritual stuff?
Definitely. Yeah. So I grew up in the AME church. And for those who don't know what that is, that's the African Methodist Episcopal Church. I like to say it's like Catholic light with much better music. And so, of course, all the songs that I grew up singing, those spirituals and things like that. There's a song that I released earlier this year on No King's Day, actually, called Forged in Fire. And my mom said that when she played it for my uncle, he was like, this sounds like a church song. Because it is. There's so much about how I grew up that just makes its way into my music.
What would you like to sing next?
Actually, I think I'm gonna sing a little throwback in a round circular way. This song is called Citizen, and this song was actually written
as a rewrite of Woody Guthrie's song Deportee. Um, Woody's song is just so important and so powerful. And in this moment in which we find ourselves, I think that song has become, again, deeply, deeply urgent. As things were kind of unfolding in Nashville, you know, a lot of folks have been paying attention to Minneapolis and things like that, but Tennessee, because we have such a deep, deep red supermajority down there, a lot of the kind of worst intentions for our immigrant friends and neighbors, they brought that to Tennessee first because there would be such little pushback. And so Woody's song just stayed on my heart, and I just kept thinking, what would he be thinking now of this country that he loved so much, watching things unfold? And the fact that so much of what's happening is happening to folks who are in fact citizens of this country and who have protected status to be here. And so I wanted to rewrite Woody's song, which was a very scary thing to do. But I just got back from playing it in Woody's hometown at the Woody Guthrie Festival, and no tomatoes were thrown. So I feel good about it. So this song is called Citizen.
It's Chris Matthews on MBY.
The echoes of yesteryear's darkest hour are rumbling louder with each passing day. They're snatching up fathers and babies with cancer and shipping them off without reason or rhyme. In Oklahoma, a mom and her daughters were robbed of their money and newfound peace. At first, it seemed like a home invasion, but to their great horror, the shirts read police. Goodbye, Fifth Amendment, goodbye, due process, adios, mi familia, mis libertades. They won't ask your status once you're born that ice bus. They won't call you citizens, just deportees. No human is illegal, no president king, but the parchment that defines us is brittle and frail. There's no more asylum at the Mexican border, just seekers chased like outlaws, like rustlers, like thieves. They die in our hills, they die in our deserts, they drown in our oceans and crash in our plains. They die beneath the flag in war after war, but the red-hatted faithful still hates them just the same. Goodbye, Fifth Amendment, goodbye, due process, adios, mi familia, mis libertades. They won't ask your status once you're born that ice bus. They won't call you citizens, just deportees. They pay their taxes and follow the rules. Oh, they're just trying to make it like me and like you. And while families get scattered like dry leaves, the felon-in-chief says they're just deportees. But who do you think keeps the orchards from rotting? Or does all the jobs nobody else will? And which ones of us will they round up next? If it's happening to some of us, it's happening to us all. Goodbye, Fifth Amendment, goodbye, due process, adios, mi familia, mis libertades. They won't ask your status once you're born that ice bus. They won't call you citizens, just deportees. No, they won't call you citizens, just deportees.
Anyway, it's Chris Matthews performing today at the Winnetou Oceanside Resort in Katama at 6 o'clock, tomorrow at Mashpee Commons at 6 o'clock. This, regardless of the weather, the shows we are planning to have go on because we do have cover at both of those locations. Okay. I'm going to read a quote back to you. I'm going to tell you it's from like 5 years ago, so you can disavow this quote. But I don't think you would. I don't think you will. But you described yourself as unapologetically me on and off stage.
Absolutely.
Is there a difference?
For me, no, not as much. I mean, I am somebody who checks an awful lot of boxes. I am black, I am a lesbian, I am a woman, I am a proud Southerner, and every aspect of that is me off of stage, and every aspect is me on stage as well. And I think for me, as somebody who has constantly understood how very important visibility is to all of those marginalized communities to which I belong, it matters to get to be me on stage. It matters to get to look out and see a black kid who is at a folk show be like, oh, so it's not weird that I like this music. It matters to be me in my suit and tie, dressed to the nines, for some adorable little baby butch lesbian to look at me and be like, oh, it's okay to just show up how I feel and how I want to be. All of that matters so much. And so because I am so constantly aware of that, I do make a point to bring all of me onto every stage I am fortunate enough to get to sing on.
I want to ask you, you made a joke about somebody throwing tomatoes at you at the Guthrie Center, but this is a sincere question. I saw an artist recently and watched him kind of in mid-set make a calculation about a song that he worried might be controversial, and he said, you know what, I'm going to go for it. Okay, so here's what I want to know from someone who is clearly not shy about stating where you stand.
Yeah.
What do you do when the room doesn't receive it the way you hoped it was received?
I have to say I have been very fortunate. That has not been my lived experience too very often. And the one time that it was it was one man at this festival who made a big stink about this song that I sang, but it was just the one guy in a field full of all these other people who were just kind of looking at him like, get out of here. And then when he did, they all applauded. So, it's even a moment like that is a teachable moment. It matters as a songwriter. If it's something that you think, if you're nervous to sing it, it's probably the most important song you'll ever sing. There's a reason those kinds of songs make us uncomfortable, is because we know at the core of us that they are needed. And it's a very scary thing to be that vulnerable and to worry that you will rub somebody the wrong way, but that's the job of the artist. Our job is to make people think. Our job is to, bring ourselves into those spaces for those people who may not ever in their lifetime meet anybody like us. And maybe that's a conversation they've never gotten to have, but they can have that conversation in a song. And so it matters. If it makes you nervous to sing it, that's the one you need to sing early on in your set.
What song makes you nervous to sing?
Probably this one that I'll sing for you.
That's a great answer. I want to mention this. You're going to have PFLAG at the show tomorrow, and that's something that you ask venues to do.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So often the folk community is such a lovely community, but we also have a lot of work to do. Folk music, you talk about folk music and people often envision an older white gentleman with a guitar. It's not me that they think of. And so when I come into a space, a city or a town, it always matters to me that folks do the work of trying to make sure that people who don't always feel welcome in those spaces know that those spaces are safe for them, and know that people are bringing artists like me into their communities so that they can know that they belong in those spaces. And so I always ask folks to reach out to their local LGBTQ organizations, their local NAACP and immigrant-led organizations as well, just so that folks can understand and know, this is a very broad tent. These songs are important to all of us, and so we should all be together and get to sing them together.
Chris Matthews is performing at 6 o'clock today at the Winnitude, and then 6 o'clock tomorrow at Mashpee Commons. All right, deep breath.
Go.
You ready to do this?
Here we go.
Whatever it is.
That's it. We're gonna do it.
I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. I hope they throw away the key and don't set bail. And the cheers of jubilation will make it hard to hear that coffin's nail. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. Oh, I can't wait for Pete Hegseth to go to jail. I hope they throw the book at him and catch Patel. And we should all have booze and crab legs while we're wishing them farewell. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. Oh, I can't wait for Christine Nome to go to jail. I hope Holman and Bovino blaze the trail. May the cries of deportees haunt them like that siren's wail. I can't wait jokers to go to jail. I hope their cosplay crusade was worth the bands that they made. They can lie and then they rot. Their transgressions will not be forgotten. Oh, I can't wait for Pam and Caroline to go to jail. For every time they told a lie and tipped the scale. Maybe then the truth will come to light and justice will prevail. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. Oh, I can't wait for Elon Musk to go to jail. For treating all our data like his own holy grail. And for gutting US aid and putting all those folks through hell. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. And I can't wait for the Kushners to go to jail. I hope Ivanka, Don, and Eric go as well. It serves them right for robbing us blind while they enrich themselves. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. I hope their cosplay crusade was worth the bands that they made. They can lie and then they rot. Their transgressions will not be forgotten. Oh, I can't wait for J.D. Vance to go to jail. He'll probably use the time to pin his next tall tale. I hope the Haitians in Ohio throw parades as he sets sail. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. And I can't wait for that man to go to jail. His laundry list of crimes are so far beyond the pale. No presidential library, just a 12x7 cell. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. Oh, I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. Lady Liberty's been waiting to exhale. Every con man, every grifter, every crook from snout to tail. I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. Oh, I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail. Oh, I can't wait for all these jokers to go to jail.
MBY Radio. It's Chris Matthews performing today as part of MBY Radio's summer concert series, 6 o'clock at the Winnetou in Katema, and it will be undercover if it's raining. Same thing for tomorrow at Mashpee Commons. Chris, great to see you.
Thanks so much for
being
having me,
here.
PJ. Thanks.
All right, we'll end the hour with another guy who sometimes had things to say. Here's Bob Dylan on MBY Radio.